Alright, what's up guys? I wanted to do a guide on Slayer again because it's been quite a while since I've done a Slayer guide, and I think Slayer's actually really good right now, which is honestly pretty rare that Slayer's actually good and playable. Like, I mean, normally it's pretty solid in solos, right? But I think right now it's actually pretty good in trios. Also, I realized that I've made a lot of videos since I first started, and a lot of people now watch my videos that don't actually know who I am. So, just a little introduction to myself. Hi, I'm Todd. I play fighter. I'm the best fighter in the game, period. Just how it is. I've been consecutively top ranked in every single leaderboard season that I've actually played. But other than that, I'm the GOAT, and that's all you need to know. So, getting into the video. Slayer Fighter. Just to start off with, what is Slayer Fighter? Slayer Fighter is built around this perk right here that's called Slayer. That's why it's called Slayer Fighter. And it's while holding a weapon in each hand, gain 5 weapon damage and lose the ability to equip plate armor. So it is a completely different playstyle than your normal plate, Hound Skull, Sword and Shield builds. It is pretty much purely offensive while completely ignoring defense. You try to maximize stats like damage, move speed, and just raw HP for your defensive stats. And with that, you become not you're pretty much like a pseudo barbarian in a way. You're a barbarian that doesn't have quite as much damage, assuming Barb's using a two-handed. You do more damage with one hand. You're not as tanky, and you're faster outside of skills. Well, I mean, I guess with sprint, you're still just as fast as rage. But basically, it's a class that plays similar to barbarian. It's a way to make fighter play similar to barbarian. And right now, it's actually pretty damn good. I've been playing it a lot recently. I've been playing it in trios, playing against very geared teams. I've had a lot of success. So just to start off with, I mean, I'm going to go off over the perks. Obviously, I said we have Slayer. I think the two that are mandatory, Slayer and Dual Wield. Because Dual Wields, whenever you have weapons equipped in both hands, you gain 10% action speed. To proc Slayer, you have to have a weapon in each hand. And just first reference, this does not work with Lantern anymore. You do have to have 2 weapons. So, no more Lantern. But yeah, these 2 perks, I think you should literally always run these, because Dual Wield is just free 10% action speed. If you don't know what action speed is, it's this right here. And it's attack speed, pretty much. Increase the speed of your physical attacks and blocks. I've actually finally updated the text. But yeah, action speed, just think of it as attack speed. Then, other than these 2, I think the top 2 are optional. In terms of what you want to run, I think you have a few choices. I'm running Adrenaline Spike and Swift. You might say, like, you're running incredibly light armor, why are you running Swift? Well, even with this armor being incredibly light, I still get about 2% benefit off of this. I believe it's somewhere around that range. It's around like 1.5 to 2%, and honestly, it's really valuable. Because this is just something, even though it sounds like such a small amount, this movement speed is something that will always be valuable to me, as opposed to something like combo attack, which I will go over in a moment. So, Adrenaline Spike, I think this is probably your most interchangeable one. I mean, personally, I would always run Swift. I mean, another reason that I would always like to run Swift is, so you see I'm running a doublet and padded legs. For example, these could be heavy leather legs, or not, these are Wolf Hunters. I have heavy leather somewhere. These could be heavy leather legs, and then a Regal Gambeson, which obviously is significantly heavier. Do I have one in my shop? I don't. But if you have a Regal Gambeson here, the movement speed penalty would be minus 17, and then heavy leathers would be minus 12. So you're adding a lot here, and Swift gives you even more value there. I'll go over the gear choices in a minute, the reason I'm not wearing those. But I think Swift is very useful. Pretty much would always run it, regardless of the armor, just for the small amount of movement speed. Even though it is small, it is very useful. And like I said, Adrenaline Spike, I'm not too sold on this. I'm running it because I feel like it's good, but even though saying that and playing it, I haven't really noticed the effect of Adrenaline Spike that often. I think this right here is probably the one you could swap out for combo attack or even projectile resistance. Projectile resistance, even if you're running low armor, like you only have 20% PR, you do have a ton of HP, so, any tankiness actually will help because you have so much HP. It does have pretty significant returns. But yeah, I'm not too sold on Adrenaline Spike. I think you could definitely run combo attack over this and be perfectly fine. You can run defense mastery if you're running actual like armor, because you can run armor with a Slayer build. Just have armor rating rolled on your gear, which I don't because I'm going pretty much full offense. But if you're going for that, then yeah, you'd run defense mastery. But other than that, I think your 2 choices are going to be Adrenaline Spike or combo attack. If you want to drop Swift, you run either, you can run something like this, or you can run something like this right here, and I think both of these would perfectly be absolutely fine. And where's Swift at? Throw it back on if I forget, because I'm an idiot. Alright, other than that, those are your perk choices. For skill choices, Sprint and Second Wind is still your best. I've had a lot of people say, like, oh, why don't you run Adrenaline Rush? And the main reason is I just don't think it's necessary. Which is funny, because I had Adrenaline Spike on, which is the exact same thing as Second Wind. but I just, or as exact same thing as Adrenaline Rush, but I just don't think this is that useful. I mean, it's like, don't get me wrong, 15% action speed, it's a lot, and it certainly is good, but you're trading off healing a lot, because I mean, the thing, I have 181 HP, this only increases whenever I pull my weapons out, so I have like 183 HP, and I heal 40% of that over 12 seconds. Even if this second wind, it doesn't like, like even if I'm not going to die in a fight, even if I hadn't used second wind, if I take damage, it helps me reset for after the fight, because then, instead of being 60%, I could be 100% HP, and I could be ready for another fight afterwards. So even if I wasn't like, even if I wasn't going to die, if I didn't have second wind, it helps me be ready for another fight. Whereas Adrenaline Rush, it's not the same. I mean, there is a negative penalty, but the negative penalty is like it's very secondary. Like, this isn't that relevant. Like, it is, but it only lasts for 2 seconds, so most of the time you're not really affected for it that long. But overall, I don't think Adrenaline Rush is bad, but personally, I just like second wind more. I think there certainly could be an argument made for Adrenaline Rush, but I will not be the one to make that argument. All right, on to gear choices. So my weapon setup here isn't necessarily optimal. So I think Castellan is your best offhand, and the reason for that is Castellan has a -10 movement speed penalty, whereas Short Sword has -13. The reason I'm using a Short Sword is because, as you see, the rolls on the Short Sword are literally perfect. I think it can roll up to 4 max HP, but other than that, these rolls are absolutely perfect. These are the exact rolls you want in a weapon. And to answer questions, so if you have 2 weapons out, the blue rolls you see here, so 2 max health, 2 weapon damage, 3 fizz power, 1.5 armor pin, those are applied to both of my weapons. So even if I'm attacking with my arming sword, I will get the bonus 2 weapon damage, 3 power, armor pin, and the max HP will go to my max HP, even if I'm like swinging the weapon. However, the white stat, so the 15% undead damage bonus, that does not go to my arming sword. That will only be on the short sword. So just keep that in mind. Because usually your offhand can just be a stat stick, and what I mean is you just don't use it, it's just there to look pretty and make you stronger. However, sometimes you certainly can use both of them. If you haven't, go check out my last video. I'm running this build right here exactly in that video. So if you want to see really good use of those, then there you go. The combo that people do is you just hold down left mouse and right mouse at the same time, and you'll just swing these swing these back and forth and do like a semi combo with them. But really, it's not much of one. It's just you swing one weapon, then you swing the other. And then Arming Sword. I think you could definitely make an argument to run Falchion here over Arming Sword. Falchion hits significantly harder. With this build, I'm hitting around 100 damage headshots with Arming Sword. If I were to use a Falchion of Honor, I would probably be... If I were to use like this Falchion of Honor right here, or this one right here, instead of this Arming Sword, I would probably be hitting for like 130 headshots or something. I would be hitting very, very hard. However, Arming Sword is just incredibly fun to use. I love the range of the weapon. I love how the weapon feels, and I would look for any excuse to use Arming Sword. Love this weapon. Then obviously crossbow. Always gonna run crossbow. Nothing to talk about here. It's fighter staple. Run it. Don't run longbow, because then you have to run weapon mastery, and weapon mastery sucks. There you go. All right. Now, after the weapons, onto the gear choices. Leather cap. So recently in the update, we got stat changes. So as you see, all of these purple items have 5 of their base stat, 5 Vig here, and then 5 Dex here. This is probably one of the reasons Slayer's actually good now, I think, is because the problem with Slayer was Slayer wanted a ton of stats that they couldn't really get because of how like many stats you needed, how many stats are available. Because Slayer really wants all 4 of these stats here. Strength, Vig, Agi, and Dex, while also having a ton of HP and a ton of damage. It's really hard to get all those stats. Sure, you could do it, but you needed like insane level of gear, so it wasn't feasible to play it for most people. Even me, I didn't play Slayer before this patch because I just wasn't willing to invest that much money to get that good of a gear set to play a mid-tier build, But now we have all these stat changes, so Slayer's way easier to play. So just as a baseline, I'll go over each piece of gear and my reasoning. Leather cap is just the best. It's the best headpiece you can wear. It gives 5 Vig, has the most armor, has the most headshot damage reduction, low boost penalty. There isn't anything better than this you can wear for fighter. Yeah, I mean, there's just that. I think there's literally no other good option for helmets. So they all suck. So leather cap, definitely the best one you can wear. Doublet. So this is where things can get a little, not tricky, but you can do a few different things with these. The chest piece option you have doublet, you have the adventurer tunic, you have the padded tunic, not the golden one, but I mean I don't have a padded one. You have the padded tunic, just like the normal one, or you have the regal gambeson. The regal gambeson and the adventurer tunic both give you HP. The thing is, regal gambeson gives you it's more armor but less movement speed penalty, and it gives you 5 Vig as opposed to the Adventure Tunic just flat HP. So these are your HP choices. Then you have Doublet, which gives you Dexterity, and kind of gives you like the midway between both of decent armor rating, decent movement speed penalty. And then you have Padded Tunic, which just gives you Strength, which is more damage based. So I think the best choice outside of like Bisque gear is to run Regal Gambeson or Adventurer Tunic. Probably Adventurer Tunic, because I think Adventurer Tunic is very, very good. I'm not sure the exact HP difference. It's probably only 1 or 2 points between a purple Adventurer Tunic to a purple Gambeson. But you really do want that HP. You really, really want the HP. And you guys, well, the reason I'm running a doublet is because this doublet has 3% max and 6 max HP. So you see, this is giving me 11 HP alone. So it's making up for the fact that if I were, like, it's making up for the fact that I'm not running a Gambeson or an Adventurer Tunic, because as you see, this would be giving me less HP. This will only give me 7, whereas this gives 11, plus the 5 Dexterity. So if you don't have one of these others, like, you know, a pad, or like, I think padded's the one you could wear without having a ton of extra HP rolls. Ideally, you'd still want one. However, I think your best choices for, you know, like, not necessarily a starter build, but until you have, like, really Biss, is Gambeson or Padded Tunic. Those two are the best options stat-wise. Once you get better gear and you have more options, then you can look between Doublet or Adventurer Tunic. I think those are both. Obviously really, really good choices. The reason I think Gambeson's a bit better than Adventurer Tunic is because this rolls flat max HP as a base stat, yeah, it can roll 2 Vig after that. But the difference is Gambeson rolls 5 Vig base, and it can roll 6 max HP like this right here can, which would overall be a lot more HP than the Adventurer Tunic. And moving on from that, like I said, Padded Tunic, also very good. I think in order of the things from Biss to Wiss, I think your options are, like, actually, like, good level gear. I think it's Doublet, Gambeson, Padded Tunic, Adventurer Tunic. I think that's probably the way I'd have to go. Because the thing is, if you get a purple at golden Padded Tunic, it'll give you 5 strength, which once again, it comes to pretty close to giving you the same amount of max HP that this would. And like I said, the armor rating and the armor rating and move speed penalty, not that bad. But there's definitely an argument that could be made for Adventurer Tunic as well. I think they're all relatively good. I don't think any of them are like significantly better than the other. I do like the Doublet just because the Dexterity gives you action speed, and having more attack speed is always nice. But, you know, it's just my own opinion. Try out what you like, see what feels best. I always recommend that. And then the other armor choices, Rugged Boots and Reinforced Gloves, no-brainer here. These are just completely broken. Good armor rating. Rugged Boots actually got buffed with the armor rating this patch, and I don't know about Reinforced. I don't think they did. Rugged Boots just got an armor rating buff this patch for some reason, so now they're even closer to Heavy Boots and, like, what are the other boots at? The Adventure Boots, I think. I think the Adventure Boots get a buff too, but they're all pretty close now. But now these are even better because these give 5 Vig. You could obviously look at Heavy Boots to wear because, you know, if you want strength for more damage. However, you are going to lose out on HP, just for reference. I mean, obviously it's not completely fair, but look. These have 2 strength on them, and that's all, and I get 7 more HP. So it would be somewhere around like 5 more HP just from base stats alone. But yeah, these are just great. Vig, perfect stat. You want HP because you're not building actual like armor or MR, and that gives you some semblance of tankiness. Because at the end of the day, you are going to be in the front line. You are not a front liner like a traditional one, but you're going to be in the front line fighting people. Or if you can't get to the back line, because that's your ideal spot. Reinforced Gloves, the exact same way. Just really good. Vig's OP. Riveteds are acceptable backup if you have really good Riveteds. However, I think Reinforced are going to be your first choice. And then for leggings, your 3 options are padded leggings, heavy leather leggings, and wolf hunter leggings. Obviously, wolf hunters are going to be a bit more expensive. However, I don't even necessarily think wolf hunters are the best option anymore. I think padded legs are just better. Normally, the reason you run wolf hunters is because they have just as good armor. I mean, the armor rating's been changed now, so heavy leathers actually have like pretty similar or even slightly more armor than wolf hunters. But the reason is that you would normally run these is they have good armor and they have a lower movement speed penalty than normal heavy leather leggings. However, you're running padded leggings. These have less armor, yes, but the thing is the armor doesn't even matter. For example, if I go, like, let's see my armor rating, I'm at 20.4. If I equip these, I go to 22.4. That is completely irrelevant. And then my movement speed, I actually lose movement speed. And these even have 1% move speed rolled on them, and these only have 2. So the thing is, they're just not really worthwhile. And also, if you look, like you see the HP difference, I lose HP for running these. Because, I mean, these do have flat HP on them, but you see what I mean. Oh, but overall, wolf hunters aren't that necessary anymore. I mean, they certainly aren't bad because, you know, you get strength on them, and strength is extra damage. So there is certainly a place where you could run wolf hunters if you get really good ones. I think the best thing you could go for is either it's movement speed, power, or flat HP, or not flat HP, or like Vig. Those are like the three stats you'd want on them. Either 5 flat, 1.5% move speed bonus, or 2 Vig, or like 5 physical power, whatever the max roll for that is. Those are the stats you'd want on these. Dexterity, like I said, I think dexterity is nice, but I don't think you really have to build for it hard. I think the reason I'm running doublet is because this is kind of just free. Like, there's no other really good pieces that I could exchange for. Like, sure, I could be running a Gambison here, but once again, I don't even have that good of a Gambison, and also it's the movement speed to armor rating penalty that you really have to worry about. So that's why, like, for example, I wouldn't run Adventure Boots over Ruggeds. But I do think padded legs are probably the best legs you have. I would say it's probably padded, wolf hunters, and then heavy leathers. Just because these, but they'd have to be decent wolf hunters, because decent wolf hunters are now worse than heavy leather legs for this build, because of the 5 Vig base on these. The max HP doesn't really compete with it that hard. But with that being said, that's pretty much the choices. Okay, also, I mean, obviously I'm wearing a golden cloak, and a golden cloak would be your best option. However, for a backup, it's perfectly fine to wear a vigilant for Vig, or a tattered for strength. Both of these are really good options. It'll really just come down to what you want. If you want more HP, you know, you wear the HP cloak. You want more damage, wear strength cloak. And it also partially depends on what rolls you have on the gear itself. So other than that, like I said, golden cloak's your best. However, these two right here are also good substitutes if you don't have a golden cloak yet. On to jewelry. Necklace, as always, necklace of peace. This thing is just beyond broken. I can't believe it's still in the game, honestly. Necklace of Peace is the best necklace for literally every character in the game, I'm pretty sure, except maybe like a really crazy knowledge necklace. However, run the Necklace of Peace. It's just the best. And I will go over like substat rolls in a second too. I'm going to do that last. Rings. Your rings are pretty fluid in terms of what you want. For example, I have Agi ring here, a Vig ring here. The main thing this comes down to is what stats you need, / which rings you have that give you damage. Because as you see, I have damage rolled on both of these, and that's one of the most important things. Slayer, at the end, is a build about damage. Your whole goal of Slayer is I need to kill them before they kill me. That is what this build does. And to that end, you want a certain amount of damage, and you want a certain amount of HP to be able to live long enough to kill them. So, I think Agi rings are good, I think Vig rings are good, and Strength. Those are the 3 I would look towards. I wouldn't really go beyond that. I think I would try to stick to Agi Vig. I think the best possible thing you can wear is Agi with flat HP rolled, or max HP rolled, a high amount of max HP, and damage. Because that way, you don't have to worry about wearing Vig rings, and you can just go for double Agi rings, which will give you more movement speed. Like you see, even though this is only 3%, or 3 Agi, that's a whole 1% movement speed. Which doesn't sound like much, but at the end of the day, it is quite a bit. And having all those 1% of movement speed add up to giving you, a very high movement speed number. But with that being said, other than this, like I said, just run either Strength, Vig, or Agi, whichever one you have the best rings of. That is the recommendation. Necklace of Peace, do run that, though. Specifically try to get this. If you don't have a good Necklace of Peace, the substitutes are either a Vig necklace with flat HP rolled, or like a Strength necklace, I guess. Or a necklace that just has a ton of HP, like this one right here. Like this Agi necklace has a ton of HP, but even this, look at this. Even this is losing HP. Like, it's 5 flat health. I mean, it's 2 max and the 2 max here. But, like, even this losing HP, it's insane. And even then, I'm only losing it for, like, 1% movement speed. For 4 HP. It's just, necklace pieces are too broken, man. Just use them. Just go buy one, honestly. Just go buy one. Just do it. You'll save yourself in the long run, I promise. But yeah, and on to actual gear choices. Weapons. Weapons are pretty straightforward. This short sword right here has the exact rolls you would want for anything. This would go for your main weapon too. You want these rolls exactly. Excuse me. Oh fuck, my nose is stopped up. But you would want these rolls right here exactly. Armor pin, maybe you could exchange for physical damage bonus. However, armor pin is still very good because it helps a lot if you're fighting a frontliner, right? Like if you're fighting like a frontline fighter, or a frontline cleric that has a ton of armor, armor pin will help you. I mean, how much will it help you? I don't know. I'm not doing the math, but it helps. Definitely does help. Then for actual gear choices, one of the stats you want to prioritize is HP. You see I have a lot of HP rolled. 4 here, 3%, 6 max, 1.9 max, 2 max, 1.4 max health bonus. And then I have 4 here, and then, obviously HP on my jewelry somewhere. Other than that, strength is good. Raw stats in general are very good. Strength, dex, agi, all perfectly fine. Agi is a weak stat, except for the fact that you can get it on certain pieces of gear. Like you can get it on, like, you know, helmet, gloves that you can't roll movement speed on, and that will give you movement speed. However, Agi is one of your lower priority stats, your two highest priority stats on your, obviously, because these are pieces of Vig jewelry, so they are Vig gear, so they can't roll Vig. On your doublet, Vig would be good, or anything else that you're wearing here. But on like leather cap and reinforced gloves, dexterity and strength are your two most important stats. I don't know which one I would necessarily say prefer more, but I would honestly, they're pretty interchangeable. Both of them are very, very good. I think they're ideal stats. And then other than that, you like on your pieces that you can get damage. So like, you know, your gloves, you want damage rolls. Legs and boots, you want movement speed rolls. Ideally, get double movement speed. Double movement speed HP would be best here. For example, you see these padded legs only have 2 additional movement speed and 4 max health. This could be better. I could have 5 movement speed. I could have, I think they were 6 max health. I'm not sure about that though. And the damage reduction, pretty much irrelevant. Then boots, as always, boots could be better too. These could have more movement speed. But getting movement speed on every, like this isn't even just for Slayer, by the way. This is just universal with any character you are playing. Your boots and your legs, movement speed is the best possible roll you can get on them. That is like that is the #1 stat you want on boots and legs for any character in this game is movement speed. 5 flat, 1.5 additional. Movement speed is so broken. Other than that, like I said, you just go for like HP and damage. Get that wherever you can. The 3 most important stats of this build. Doesn't matter how you get them, just get them. HP, movement speed, and damage. You want all 3 of those stats. And I mean, I've had a lot of people ask me like, oh, like, you know, what's the cutoff you normally go for before you start prioritizing another? No, you want all 3 at the same time. Just having 2 isn't good. Like if you have a lot of HP, a lot of damage, that's not good because you need movement speed or you're just going to die because you're squishy. You're going to get killed by rangers that you're trying to run at. You're going to get kited out. Just having, you know, movement speed and damage, that's not good. You're super low HP. You're not going to beat anybody in a melee. Having speed and HP, you're not going to kill anyone. You don't do any damage. You need all 3 stats to make this build work. And yeah, I won't lie. My build, I mean, honestly, the thing is, this build, like, you might look at this and be like, oh my god, like, your gear's, like, insane. This build isn't Biss. This arming sword sucks. Like, pretty much one dead roll here, one dead roll here, dead roll, low rolls, dead roll. I mean, the cloak's insane. I won't even lie. The cloak's insane, but one dead roll, and these are good, but these are all low roll. These are 2 low rolls. So this build is very good, yes. However, this is not Biss. So if you like, you might look and be like, oh, well, like, you know, I can't afford to play that build, or, you know, like, your gear's insane, that's why it works. This gear could be a lot better. I could be pushing 200 HP and hitting for like 10 damage more with perfect gear. So, and the thing is, you don't need this level of gear specifically to run this build. You can run this build with less HP, less damage, less movement speed, and be fine. This is just the build that you should expect to need if you were trying to run this in like high-level gameplay. Like you're fighting juiced gold teams, even though gold sucks now, so, you know, not really. But fighting juicer teams and people of other really good gear, like demigod-level players. This right here is the type of gear you should be looking for. I am not saying you should not run it until you get this gear. This kit is the kit you should aspire to have if you were trying to play Slayer. You should aspire to have a kit that's even better than this one. But this is what you should be looking for. And with that being said, I think that sums up everything. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. I don't think I did. Oh, for, I guess, consumables, just bring, you know, the Dorbles. Prop pot, Invis pot, that type of thing. Oh my god, I'm so stopped up, so annoying. I can hear my voice, it sounds weird. I'm sorry if I sound weird for you guys, but... obviously, don't forget some of the things I said. Castellan's like the best offhand. Ideally, you run that over Short Sword. Short Sword does have a combo with it. However, I think Castellan's insane. It's 1% movement speed. That's a lot, actually. Arming Sword's really good. Fashion's a good substitute. These are both perfectly fine. You can also run stuff like Warhammer. Warhammer's actually pretty good. If you get a really good one, like this one isn't bad. You get a good Warhammer. Warhammer is perfectly runnable. It'll hit harder than Arming Sword. The problem with Warhammer, though, is it has really short range and really bad sour spots, but it's really good against the fighter and cleric 1v1s because it does so much armor pen that you're just hitting. It has higher base damage to Arming Sword, and it has 20% armor pen. So honestly, you will melt like frontline characters with a Warhammer. As always, though, you could of course run it off Falchion of Honor. These things are just they're obviously very, very strong. If I were, like I said, if I were to equip a Falchion of Honor, I would be hitting for, what is this? It's 11 weapon damage plus 2. So what, 13? I'd be hitting for 26 damage more, just at least. Just not including anything else on this. I'd be hitting for 26 damage more at least. So I'd be hitting for almost 130 headshots with this thing. Absolutely insane. I'd be like 1 to 2 tapping like every character in the game that's not a fighter. But yeah, with that being said, I think that wraps up the video for now. Thank you guys for watching, and if you want to see gameplay of this, either come watch my stream because I'll be running this, or probably Slayer just in general. Even if I die with this, I'll probably make another kit because I have a ton of Slayer gear now. But I'll be running this pretty much all the time that I'm playing. Or if you want to see one sooner, go watch the video I just posted yesterday. I was running this exact kit and going crazy with it. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.